Hello everyone, I've got a special little project I'm going to do here, which I wasn't planning to do at this point. I'm going to put an analog board back in this particular engine, as you see it has an X on it, because it's a DCC locomotive that does not work. This has been at the bottom of my pile for quite some time. I was going to get to it, and well, I never got to it. And now I've got another purpose for it, and so I'm going to get ready for that next purpose. For this, I'm going to need actually a device that I'm not used to using here, that I don't normally use, and that is this analog board, which is for one of these sd40-2s. You may have remembered this from the sd40-2, one of the two I've converted recently, the two CSX engines. I should mention, I don't think I mentioned that in any of those videos. I haven't released, as of the time I'm making this one, the second video, because I did two of those engines. I bought them in a pair. I converted both of those to DCC. This is one of the analog boards from said locomotive. So anyway, without further ado, let me get this engine out of here and see what we can do about getting it converted to an analog engine. I think I had this thing apart in years. This engine's got a bit of a history with me. Got it back in 2012. It ran on a Christmas layout that year, and that was basically it. It never really ran very much after that, or 2013. And it was bought, I think, at a local train show, if I remember correctly, up here. Or I bought it online. I think I may have gotten this online through eBay. I'm not sure. It ran initially fine, and I converted to DCC. It ran fine, and then it just stopped. So there's a DCC board. I think that's a TCS board on there. Anyway, what I'm going to do here is I'm just going to pull this out, and I think I just figured out why it didn't work. When I'm oh, no, actually, no, it was set up right. So all I did was, just to show you how easy that was, I pulled it back and pulled it forth. I'm going to place the stock board back in, making sure that all of these contacts are lined up. Got that now, so this goes all the way forward. And then it slides back to make contact with these contacts right here. And I think I have that. Actually, no, it has to go like this so it locks in. And I think I just fixed that. Now, let me try this out. To confirm it works correctly, I'm going to use my DCS50. This actually makes perfect sense, or at least that's what I'm telling myself. But in reality, there is an advantage to it. If this does work, it will start making an annoying sound very quickly. Okay, and that very obnoxious sound actually means it's working correctly. If I go to 00, I should be able to make this engine move now. I don't want to leave it like this forever. Just want to test it. Yep, there we go. And I've resurrected this engine. Just like that. Actually runs pretty well. I think I lubed this the last time I had it. But yeah, so that'll do it. Let me turn the power off here quick. Okay, so I finished the job on this. So now, actually one last thing, I'm going to put the top on, make sure it works correctly. Oh, I just noticed something. My other sd40-2 was missing this little clip on the front there for the headlight. Or is that actually the back of the unit? No, it's the front. Just going to slip this in place. Oh, that's a very satisfying click it makes. Another thing about these Kato sd40-2s, you can't beat the quality that Kato puts into its products. I really like how they do these things. In my opinion, I constantly go back and forth between them and Atlas for top quality locomotives. Let's now try this one more time. There we go. That works. Headlights are always on because I'm running DCC on analog. And with that, I've basically retrofitted this, or downgraded this to analog. Next step is to pack this accordingly in its original box and place it all together. I guess I could try to get rid of this with some alcohol, but that basically does it. So, you're probably wondering what this little impromptu project was. Well, as it turns out, one of my fellow YouTubers, I've mentioned him a few times in my videos, Trains with Shane, needs one of these engines. And he had seen my video on the sd40-2 that I did, the CSX units that I've restored when I had my terrible voice issue when I was recovering from that really bad cold / I don't know what I had. Anywho, and said, hey, would you like to sell one of those? And I said, well, not really. But I mentioned I had this engine available, and he mentioned he wanted something with the cab light, which this does have. And so this engine will be going to him in trade for another locomotive. Which locomotive? Well, you'll just have to wait and see. And before I close out this video, I'd like to ask everyone to take a look at Shane's channel. He does a lot of really cool will it run videos, N-scale. He also does a lot of repairs on N-scale locomotives. And as for this video, that's going to do it for it. If you liked it, as always, give it a thumbs up. If not, thumbs down. Please like, sub, and comment. And as always, keep the metal side down.